Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Blake. This is my husband, John. And in this video, we're gonna be answering all of your guys' questions on the wedding. I got a lot of them when I put a Q&A over on my Instagram. If you guys don't follow me, you guys should definitely follow me over there. I put a question box and a lot of them were wedding related, and I felt like I had already, you know, spammed you guys on Instagram with wedding stuff, and I felt like it would be better to just put it in a YouTube video where I have a lot more space to answer the questions and everything like that. So thank you guys for sending in your questions. I think you guys asked some really good ones. I'm gonna be doing my makeup while we answer your questions, and this is just everything that I brought on the honeymoon. So if you were ever wondering like what products I was using on the honeymoon, it's gonna be these. The first question is, how do you feel the day after? Are you still on a high from it all? I felt probably differently than John felt. I honestly felt a little bit anxious because especially like being on social media, I knew that like I had to post my pictures and everything, and I enjoyed the wedding so much and I loved literally every single part of it, and I just like didn't want anybody's opinion to like taint how I felt. And so I actually felt really nervous and I had a little bit of anxiety, and I couldn't really pinpoint why it was until I like kind of talked to Delaney about it. And I was just like, I don't know why I feel like so like anxious, and I think it was just because I was nervous about like what people were gonna like say and think. And so yeah, that's how I kind of felt. And I know that when I posted my picture, I just like shut my phone for probably like 5 or 6 hours because I like didn't want to look at it. How did you feel?
I felt fine. I don't think I was like on a high. I was kind of just like relieved that everything went well.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty much it, and like happy with the day.
Yeah. The DJ and entertainment people like looked so fun. Could you talk more about them?
The DJ and entertainment people were Joyentertainment.
And we found them through our wedding planner.
Yeah, we found them through Marta, who's weddingeventsitaly on Instagram, and she sent us a bunch of different people. And what they do is pretty cool. They kind of just have a bunch of different ensembles and ways that you can have them do it, but we picked a singer, a sax, a violinist, and a DJ, and so they all kind of accompany the music that the DJ is playing. And it was kind of like little intermission acts that they put on after every course, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I just feel like live music during a wedding is like such a really cool vibe, and I originally wanted a singer, and then John didn't want a singer because he was just like, they just never sound as good as...
Yeah, they're usually pretty bad.
And so I guess like I agree with that now, but I guess I just like didn't really like think about it then, and I was like, I really want a singer, I really want a singer. And then we actually contacted this DJ, singer, sax ensemble, and they were, not this one, but a different one prior. Yeah. And they were $30,000 without any like sound equipment or like anything like that. It was just for like the performers. and like their time. And I was like, oh gosh, like this is not, I was like, damn, like, cause that was like my dream to like have live performances and like, but also have a DJ. So I was like, damn, like if that's the price, like that's just not gonna work out for us. But then Marta was able to find these people because I told her what I wanted and she found them. And how much were they?
They were like roughly 5,000.
Compared to the 30,000.
Yeah.
Were you able to bring the matchbooks as favors? I want to do something similar. No, we weren't. If you guys missed that on my story, we were gonna do matchbooks as favors, but you can't fly with them. And so we were like, okay, like we'll just have them shipped to Italy. But then our guests wouldn't be able to fly home with them. So we just ended up not doing it. And I'm still sad about it because we created this like really cool matchbook. But unfortunately we couldn't do it. Do you recommend Villa Babliano for 1 or 3 days? TBH, I don't recommend Villa Babliano.
No.
I don't really recommend it.
I think they show you the venue and they tell you all these places that you can be and all this stuff, and then they kind of pull the bait and switch a little bit. It wasn't that bad, but they make you think you have the whole venue and you can do whatever you want, and you really can't. All of a sudden there's like a lot of rules in the contract.
Right, and I also, the reason why I just said I don't recommend it is because I don't recommend it at the price that it is now. We signed our contract back in 2020, like we signed our contract back in 2022, and since then I think that it has gone up like 35%, which is absolutely insane. And so at that price, I do not recommend it for either a 1 day or a 3 day, because if you're gonna like, there's no reason to be spending $50,000 on a venue when they nickel and dime you for every single thing. They don't even let you be in the places that they said that they would let you when you tour it. Yeah. And I just think that for that, like, it's not, there's other villas around that you can do for way less.
Also, I definitely wouldn't do the 3 day because they're very big on like, apparently, we got all of our deposit back, but apparently they're very picky on giving you money back, and there's no way you could stay there without like messing up one of their rules. They have so many, like you can't have hairspray in this room, you can't have this in this room, all this stuff that they don't really tell you. There's no way you could actually live there and them not take money away, or have the manager just annoying you the whole time probably.
Right.
And like you think you can go in the pool, but I bet you can't. Like it's just, there's just a lot of like little rules, and I get it. It's a really nice like museum basically, but it's not somewhere I'd want to stay. Right.
Like I don't even think that they should like have the option for people to stay there, because like it's a museum basically. But also like when we viewed it, they were like, oh, you're gonna be getting ready here, John's gonna be getting ready in here, blah, 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 blah. A week before we were gonna go there, like a week before our wedding, they send over this thing, and it's like, these are the places that you're allowed to be in, and every single place except for the hallways had an X in them. And I sent back to Marta, I was like, what the actual fuck is going on? Like, where do they expect us to get ready, in the hallway of the villa? And she was like, I don't know, like that's really weird, because I remember her saying like, you can have this room and John can have this room. And so she just said like, we're just gonna do it. But so I got a room to get ready in.
And then me and my friends got ready in like a landing space between 2 different rooms. It wasn't a hallway, it was an actual room, but it was just open and there was no bathroom or anything like that. But we were guys and we didn't really need any of that stuff, so it really didn't matter.
But it's just weird that they would say.
But it was also very weird that they showed you a bunch of different private rooms with bathrooms, and then all of a sudden said you can't have any of them.
And at that point, they knew that like at the point where she was showing us the villa, we had already put in our deposit for that place, and we had already booked May 25th. Like that was a year prior. So she knew that we weren't staying for 3 days, and she knew that we booked for 1 day, and she still showed us these places and being like, hey, you're gonna get ready here, you're gonna get ready here. So it was just like kind of weird. It was weird vibes, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know, maybe the management changed between then, or something happened to raise the price or make it, somebody ruined something or something, but still like they should honor the original contract and what they showed you, not like just change it all of a sudden.
Biggest regret on a wedding purchase, could be anything. What would you have done different? I definitely wouldn't have bought
dress.
Yeah, I would not have bought my dress. My dress was so expensive. I literally feel like a fucking clown. Like, please, John, insert a clown emoji over my face right now, because I felt like a clown spending that much money on a dress. Like,
hey, you're saying who it was, right?
Yeah, like it was Galia Laha.
Galia Laha was the fucking worst. Like, that was the worst experience, like, from my point of view, because I never got to see it, but it was just like, the last thing you want to do is stress out about a dress for like your actual wedding dress for a destination wedding, and they just
it'd be so expensive, and
like you think you're getting this, you think for that price you would be getting like at least some sort of like courteous service. It was like the worst service ever.
It was a gaslighting situation, and I'm really glad for my friend Hope, who actually knew some people that worked higher up at Galia, and she was able to get me in touch with the right people, because the people at the actual store were gaslighting me, telling me that the dresses were the same and that it was the way that I was standing, and I was like, are you for real right now?
It's just kind of disheartening that you would be spending that much money on something that important and people are that shitty.
It's like
you would hope that people just wouldn't be that shitty in the world. But
like, I honestly think that they just think of you as a check, and they're just like, hey, on to the next one, I got this one, like, let's just, like, whatever.
And I think the whole operation is kind of gaslighty. They show you one dress and then they make you a dress that's nothing like that dress.
And
like,
I didn't know, but now I've heard horror stories about Galia Lahab, like, from so many people. Like, I'm not even kidding. I've probably heard about 50 horror stories about Galia Lahab where people have had to send their dresses back, and it's just like make the fucking dresses right the first time. So anyway, I didn't know about the horror stories beforehand, but now I do, and I would definitely not recommend Galia Lahab for literally anything. Also, I do regret I do and I don't regret my veil. Like, I loved my veil. I loved it so much. But at the price point that it was, like, this veil was almost $4,000, and it literally makes me sick to my stomach thinking about it. Because then when I got the veil, my friend, who is a seamstress, she was looking at it and she was like, these appliques aren't even sewn on. They're literally like, they're iron-ons. And I can't confirm or deny if they're iron-ons in the store, but it just felt so much, the materials just felt so much different in the store, and I feel like they fucking do that shit. And I feel like they use these really high quality materials in store on their samples, and then you get this, and it's this fucking like Wish.
It's the Alibaba
fucking
special.
Alibaba special Wish, like, bullshit. Anyway, I've had enough time to talk about that, so whatever. How did we figure out what kind of decor we wanted? Pinterest. Pinterest is amazing for decor. TikTok is also good. We just kind of knew that.
It's also based on where you're going. So ours is Italian, so it kind of narrows it down. Right. It's at a villa. You can't go like super modern or anything, you know.
I mean, you could, but we just didn't want to. I just knew that I didn't want like very many colors. I kind of wanted it to feel like this like vintage Italian wedding. So I did just like neutral colors. I didn't want anything like just popping out. So for the decor, I just knew that I wanted like different height candles, because that just gives so much ambiance. Funny thing is, when it started raining, all the wicks got wet, and then we couldn't light any of them. And then for like 30 minutes, we were trying to light all of the candles, and it was really funny. But I mean, it is what it is. But I think lots of candles is a big thing, because you can use that to like have ambiance and vibes, and they don't cost as much as flowers. But then other flowers for decor, I didn't want so much. Like, I didn't want it to be like so densely packed where like you couldn't see the table and stuff. I just want it to feel like more organic, and yeah.
I'm just watching the other ones where that girl's like, I wanted it so densely packed.
Oh my God, I know. I wanted it to feel a little bit like organic. What day will you celebrate your anniversary, your legal marriage day, or your Lake Como wedding day? Although I like the numbering of our legal wedding day, which is 12/2/22, we're gonna celebrate it on our Lake Como wedding day, which is 5/25/23. That's actually my grandma's birthday. We got married on her birthday. What would you change or suggest to brides? I think like don't sweat the small stuff. Like there's gonna be things that are probably not gonna be right, but like if it really doesn't matter in the long end and you don't think that you're gonna care about it like in a week or two, then like who cares? Easier said than done, obviously, guys.
if you're going abroad or you're gonna do a wedding abroad, make sure you get a wedding planner from that place.
Oh.
It just makes it so much easier. They have relationships, they speak the language, and it'll just be 10 times smoother. I think giving your photographers examples of what you want your wedding to be like helped a lot.
Yeah. A lot of people have also told me that they regretted not doing a videographer, and I would have to agree. Like, obviously we did a videographer, but I'm just saying, like, if we hadn't, I probably would have regretted that. So definitely do a videographer. I wouldn't spend like a ton of money on like top shelf alcohol, because like who really cares? Like, we actually spent a little bit more on the wine for the dinner, and then we just did like base alcohol for the like after. No, what do we do? We didn't do the top shelf, did we? I would also always account for more time than you actually think that you need. We started an hour earlier, like getting ready, than what I had thought, just because I was like, okay, like people are telling me that we need more time. And had we not done that, I feel like we would have been like rushing, but because we did start an hour earlier, it was the perfect amount of time. So I think whatever your wedding planner suggests, or whatever people suggest, maybe start an hour before that, like getting ready and stuff, because you know, you want to take pictures, you want to make TikToks, you want to like do all of this stuff. So I was making TikToks. I was making like, I think I had like 5 or 6 TikToks that I wanted to make like before I got ready, or like during the getting ready process before I got into my dress. And then I would like transition into my dress. I only did one of them because I filmed all of the other ones. And then when I put my wedding dress on, I was like, I really don't care anymore. So someone asked what the schedule was like for the wedding. So John has that pulled up on his computer.
Blake and her friends arrived at 11. I arrived with my friends at like 1. We had our first look an hour before we were supposed to walk down the aisle, which was at like 5.
So the first look was at like 3:30, I think. And I did it, so I put an hour and a half in between there, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be an absolute wreck. I'm gonna have to re-get my makeup done a little bit. But we did cry, but then I didn't have to get my makeup redone, so we just like kind of hung out and like took pictures and stuff like that.
Ceremonies only take like 30 minutes.
That was at 5:30.
We had an hour aperitif where we went off on a boat and took pictures.
And that's when it started to get black. Like the entire sky was black.
Yeah. And
we were like, okay, we kind of need to like wrap this up, because we can see that we're about to get clipped by this storm. And
then we did our walk-in, and then it started raining right after our walk-in, before any food was brought out. Mm-hmm. And so then everybody went inside for about 45 minutes, and then we came back out and did the speeches and the dinner and everything. Everyone
went inside for 45 minutes, and we had this like insane dance party. The shots were flowing. Then I started being a mom, because my friends started, not friends that you guys know, but my cousins and my friends started bringing in like red wine bottles and like pouring it in people's mouths, and I was like, I cannot get charged for this. This flooring is so expensive. Like, I started grabbing the bottles. I was like, I cannot be doing this right now. So then I was like, go get shots. And so then like everyone got shots instead of the fucking red wine that was about to be spilled all over the floor. So then about 45 minutes later, all of the rain had like passed by, and then we went back out. I don't think we made another entrance, did we?
No, everybody just went back out. We did all the first dances, and then we did all the food, and then we had performances, and then after that we did the cake cutting champagne toast with sparklers, and then we had a late night ice cream cart and pizza cart, and it was good.
The pizza cart was not able to make it into the back. At that point, she was trying to explain it to me what was going on. At that point, I was a little lit and I didn't really understand. I was just like, it's okay, whatever, like do whatever is easiest for you. But in my mind now, I feel like it was because it was raining and the pizza cart, it's like a stone oven like cart. And we think that maybe it was because it rained and the grass was like really wet and the cart was too heavy to like make it back there without ruining the grass, AKA charging us a fuck ton of money. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was what was it? So that was like kind of our schedule. And then it went until about what time? 1:30?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised I made it that long, to be honest.
It was quick.
Did you explain dress code to your guests? Everyone killed it and looked so stunning. Because we didn't have that many guests. Well, on our wedding invite, it said black tie optional. So basically, I just wanted floor length gowns, and then men in dark suits. Pretty much almost every single guy showed up in a tux though, which I fucking loved. And then for the girls, basically like, I didn't say a specific dress code like theme or anything like that, but because it was so small, like I kind of just told all like my friends and my family that if they could wear more like neutral or pale or dark colors, like I would prefer that. I basically said I would love it if you didn't wear any highlighter color dresses, and somehow everyone looked so in sync. It was crazy. They did mostly like black, yellow, and green dresses, and everyone looked amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
It was so crazy. Like we didn't plan that or anything.
I would say another thing that's super important to have, not to do without, is security guards for a venue that's a little bit bigger or one that have a security deposit on.
Mm-hmm. Especially at Villa Babliano. Like if you're looking to get married at Villa Babliano, you need security guards.
Yeah, I don't even know. They definitely won't let you do it without a bathroom attendant, but
which was $1,000, I think.
But a security guard really helped just keep people where they're supposed to be.
Also, I'm just giving pricing because a lot of people are like asking about pricing, but also I know that a lot of people have DM'd me being like, oh, I'm getting married, or I'm gonna get married, or I want to get married at Villa Babliano. Can you talk about like some pricing and stuff? So that's why. What did you do / where did you go for wedding jewelry? So for the welcome party, I basically only wore earrings because of the neckline. So I borrowed these earrings from Simon G and they were so stunning. Oh my God. They just felt like they went with the vibe of the dress so well. And then for the neck, I had like a neck piece for the dress. So I just wore my wedding ring and then the earrings. And then for the day of the wedding, I borrowed my mom's diamond tennis necklace and her diamond earrings. And then I just had my ring on. I didn't have any like bracelets or anything like that, so. Also, if you guys didn't see on Instagram, Simon G reset my ring. I'll put a picture right here. We took off the halo and I love it. And then my wedding band is also from Simon G. They are amazing. We love them so much. Were your florists able to do a sample table setup for you? No. We didn't even know that was a thing, so maybe they could have, but again, it was in Italy, so I'm not really. We gave them.
They just sent a bunch of like inspo boards,
Mm-hmm.
and they've done the venue before, and there's really not that many different flowers that are white than what we chose, so it's kind of easy for them.
I feel like the flowers that I chose are like kind of popular right now, and it's not very they're not very different. Like we literally have flowers on our table right now, and it's a similar vibe. Like we basically just told them what type of flowers and like the size and density of what our floral arrangements should be and like how high and how low, and they kind of just came up with them. And I mean, I wasn't really that like.
You also kind of have to go with what's in season too. So
yeah.
I mean, they can only get certain flowers. So I mean.
Someone asked where I got my second look from. The 2-piece set, so cute. So that was actually my welcome party dress, and I got it from Sync. She is a small business wedding dress designer here in LA. She is in downtown, and she's amazing. Did you greet your welcome guests in person or upon arrival? What's the etiquette? Everyone got there at like on a different day, so we greeted people Just basically when they got there, we had a scooter and we just like drove around to everyone and like said hi. And who was responsible for fixing your wedding dress and did they resolve it in time? Gali Al-Hab was responsible for it. They sent it back to Israel and it was delivered, I think like a week and a half before my wedding. But then when I went in, it still needed alterations and I picked it up the day before we left.
Which is not what you want to be doing the day before you leave
No.
for an international wedding.
No. How did we decide who to invite? I mean, we don't really have that many like friends and family. We both kind of have like small families.
We just invited everybody that we wanted to actually be there, that would make it a happy day, and then the rest just takes care of itself because some people can't go, it's travel, it's far, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So the people that came were the people that had the ability to come.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people, people asked if we like paid for people's flights and hotels. No, we didn't do that. I don't think that that's like, I feel like multiple people asked me that question, which makes me think that people think that it's common, but anybody that has ever had a destination wedding, I've asked that question just because I was curious as well, and no one has ever paid for flights or hotels of their guests.
The only thing that you would ever do for guests, unless you were like a literal billionaire, would be to get a room rate or a lowered rate, but we couldn't. We tried. The hotels there don't do that.
Yeah, we tried. They were like, "What are you talking about?" We were like, "Okay, cool." How did you get past the language barrier? We didn't really need to because our wedding planner helped us with everything. How did you lose 15 pounds before the wedding? I want to. I stopped drinking alcohol. I started working out 4 times a week, and I also didn't eat sugar for like 4 months. Wedding floral costs, they were gorgeous. Originally, we kind of set a floral budget of $20,000, and we did end up going over. I also asked on my Instagram story if we should do like a floral, like rose petal aisle, and I'm so glad that you guys told me not to do that because it would have been.
It was hot.
It was really hot.
Wilted, probably.
They would have been wilted.
They would have dragged.
Or I would have been so sad because it was supposed to rain, and if it did rain, then we wouldn't have been able to do that, and that's just money wasted. Yeah. But I'm just really glad that you guys told me not to do that. So that was money that we ended up like saving at the end because we took out the floral, the flower aisle. But what did we end up spending?
26 grand.
26 grand. But that was also with like I also added a bunch of candles at the end too, and I think that made it go up a little bit.
And that also included little floral arrangements for the welcome dinner on these little tables. Yeah. So, I mean, from what I've heard and the different prices we've heard for that venue, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
People are spending over $100,000 at that venue for flowers.
Quote,
no joke.
Yeah. Their first quote to us was like 35, and we were like, "Yo, we need to cut it. We need to cut it. We're looking at about 20." And yeah, I guess we ended up a little bit higher than that, but we also added the welcome party. So, who was the videographer and photographer? Pompeifilms was the videographer, and then the photographer was Luis Mendoza. We will put their handles in the description. Also, we had a film photographer as well. Approximate budget for a Lake Como wedding. I think that there's so many factors that go into this that it's like kind of hard to give an approximate. Like we could probably give an approximate for Villa Babliano, but I don't know other like villa costs and stuff like that. And also the size of your wedding is going to determine it.
Yeah.
So what do you think for a Villa Babliano wedding? For about 70 people.
I would say at minimum 120,000 and at maximum 500,000 probably.
Yeah.
Because we've heard of people spending $100,000 on flowers alone. Yeah. If you get that marquee, it's an extra $50,000. So and if you doubled our guests, you could easily spend a lot. Yeah, $500,000 if you really wanted to. Yeah. But I think you could do it for 120,000.
And I'm gonna say for just Lake Como in general, not Villa Babliano, I'm gonna say an average price, I would say you're looking at $50,000 to $300,000.
Yeah.
Like that's just like I don't know how else
just
to,
depends how many people.
Yeah.
I mean, it
how
really
many people
comes
and
down
what
to,
venue? Did you still do a registry? I'm considering a destination wedding and trying to figure it out. No.
We didn't
felt weird
we
doing
didn't
that.
do any sort of registry, and we didn't really like. We put like a honey fund on our webpage, but we weren't really expecting anything because it's so much money to travel there, and you have to take time out of your life to come and be there. And we know it's a fun place, but we just didn't really ask for that.
Yeah,
part of it. We just expected the trip, and you going was the gift.
Yeah, we didn't expect anything other than that.
Yeah.
How many courses did you have for dinner? We're doing 4, and I'm hoping it doesn't feel too long. I think we had 4 or 5.
We did 4. We did 4, but we told our wedding planner to make them shorter because initially the dinner was supposed to be, I think, 3 hours.
2.5, 3 hours.
And so we just said, like, we don't want each course to take that long.
We said America's not used to that.
No, we just said, like, I know it usually takes 3 hours. We want each course to take 15 minutes or 30 minutes or however long you want, and they'll do that. That's what they do. I mean, I wouldn't say you'd want it to be 10 minutes or anything, but ours was set up so we had a course, a speech, and a performance, and then a course, a speech, and a performance. Wedding dinners are usually pretty long, but you should be able to dictate with your wedding planner to shorten that to whatever you want.
How did you feel relaxed the morning of your wedding? How did you feel relaxed? I don't know. I was just like, whatever's gonna happen is happening. Like, there's nothing that I can do right now to like change anything. So like, let's just like enjoy it. I wasn't, other than like when I started writing my vows out, like I had them in my phone, but I was like writing them out. I started to like cry and stuff. Other than that, like those are the kind of, I was just happy. Anything that went wrong day of, any vendors that disappointed you? We talked a little bit about this in our wedding day vlog at the end, but I remember being like, Marta, I was like, so is anything going wrong? She was like, no, nothing. Everything is perfect and everything looks beautiful, blah, blah. I was like, I'm not like other brides. Like, just tell me if anything's like going wrong. Like, I'm a cool bride. And she was like, okay, so actually the string quartet, they got into an accident and the harpist has a broken rib and she's in the hospital, but they're getting us a new one. And I was like, is she okay? She was like, oh, like she's fine. Like, but they're getting us a new one and like everything's fine. And I was just like, okay, like,
yeah,
that
was a shocker.
Yeah, I felt like really bad.
But in terms of the other vendors, no, they were all great. Even we had to pay the same cost as our venue for the lighting and the sound, which was a hidden cost that we did not know about, and we were just shocked.
We didn't know.
But the lighting people, since it did rain, they couldn't turn on the chandeliers. And they took the box lights and shined them on the chandelier, which if you know what a chandelier is, it's basically just crystals with a light inside. Mm-hmm. So if you shine the light from the outside, it's the same thing. So, yeah, I mean, I know we paid a lot and everything, but they were there to help us and problem solve, and they made it so that, you know, you wouldn't even know that something went wrong, and everybody was just like super helpful and nice. And when it rained, people can give up and be like, no, you can't use this, and you can't do this, and you can't try to do this. Mm-hmm. But everybody was like, no, you can do this. This is what we can do. We can help you with that. We can try to figure this out. We can try to figure that out. And so it was great. Even
after, I was like talking to people who were at the wedding, and they were like, it's so crazy that like the chandeliers were able to work after that like rainstorm. And I was like, oh no, they actually like weren't on. The lighting people just shined box lights up at it from the ground, and the people that were even there had no idea that they even did that. So it was really cool.
It was great. So I think all of the people involved, every single vendor luckily was awesome. There was no vendor that was bad. I mean, there was some that cost money, but they were all great. Mm-hmm. None of them were bad at all. They all showed up. They all did exactly what they're supposed to do. Everything went perfect, even with the... Did they do?
No, there was a fly somewhere.
Everything went perfect, even with the rain, and so I couldn't have been happier about the vendors. It was awesome.
Did you get extensions or clip-ins for your hair? I have extensions like all the time. My hair girl, Jill, was actually there, and she did my hair for the welcome party, and then we switched up my hair 3 times during the wedding, and we use hand-tied extensions, and they are coveted Maine, I believe. Will you be selling any of your bridal outfits on Poshmark? I mean, I'm thinking about it. I currently don't know the state of any of them because my mom took them home with her because we were traveling for 3 weeks after. So once I took them off, I have no recollection of what they look like, the inside, the outside, the bottom. Like, I don't know if there's any spills on them, anything. So I don't know.
I also don't think like.
But I will sell them, but probably not on Poshmark.
I don't think Poshmark is a place to sell a wedding dress that's thousands of dollars though.
No, but I am not opposed to selling it. Like, I definitely want to sell that dress. I just need to look at the state of it. How did you capture all of your content from your wedding? A family, friend, or family member? Luckily, like 90% of the people that were at our wedding were like content creators. So we had a bunch of content, and then we just made like a shared folder, and everyone like just dropped all of their content in there. So it was nice for me to have that. But I will say that for like the regular normal person who wants to have content like that, I would definitely hire one of those like day of content creators. There's like so many out there now. You can like even look on TikTok and like type that in. I think it's like day of wedding content creators. Like, you can find them, and I would definitely do that. The reason I didn't do that is A, the reason I just said, but also B, like having it in Lake Como, it was like, what was I supposed to do? Just like fly, I don't know. Was I supposed to like fly someone out there? Like, I don't know. So I didn't have to do that, but if I had another wedding in America, I definitely would do that. Okay, what were your favorite parts of the wedding? Favorite part of the wedding would be, I really liked the dances because they were like super sentimental, and they were just really like sweet and genuine, and I just like feel like I'm gonna like think about those forever. I also really loved the live aspects of like the live performances during the dinner, because like kind of during dinner it can be like not a little awkward, but just like you're just like sitting down for dinner, you're just like having these conversations, but like it was like dinner and a show, and like that's one of my favorite things ever. So the performances during dinner I feel like were super cool and unique.
The cake cutting in the champagne tower. I like going on the boat and taking the pictures.
Anything that you regret? I do have I'm not gonna say that I have regrets, you know, because like everything happens for a reason, and like whatever, I probably, you know.
I definitely wouldn't have done the welcome dinner at that place.
Because it rained?
Because it rained and you couldn't have it at the pool where you wanted to have it.
Yep.
I would have done it at this other restaurant that had a covering that it wouldn't have mattered if it rained.
Yeah. Yeah, that part really, that still stings a little bit because I like wanted that so badly, and I like manifested us to get a spot there the day before our wedding, and you know, it literally torrential downpour, so that was sad.
Not only did it rain that day, but it's just so frustrating because you're there and it's a perfect day, and then
torrential
the
downpour.
Day of your welcome dinner, it's torrential downpour starting at literally the exact time your welcome dinner starts.
Yeah.
But like, it happens and is what it is.
But my, like, I guess if I could go back in time and I would do something again, I had only tried on my veil at the wedding dress store, and those days, like, because I didn't want to like get anything on the dresses and stuff, like I like had no makeup on, I had my hair up the entire time. And at that point, I didn't know if I was gonna wear my hair up or down on my wedding day. So I had it up in a clip, and like I had put the veil into the clip all 2 or 3 times that I tried on the veil. And then I ended up wearing my hair down for the wedding, and I didn't know how to put my veil in. And like at that point, everyone was already sitting down, and I was like, oh shit, I need to put my veil in. And I didn't know how to wear the veil. And so I literally, guys, I'm not even fucking kidding. This is the prong of the veil, right? I took it and I just went like this in my hair to have like a little bit of like friction, and I just stuck it in. I didn't know if that was how high it was supposed to be, how low it was supposed to be, nothing. And then my wedding planner was like, okay, you have to walk down the aisle, you have to go, because the wedding, the song that I was walking down was playing. And so I started going, and the lace on the veil got caught in the like prong of the door, like the metal part of the door that's on the bottom. And I was so nervous because it wasn't secured in, like I had no bobby pins in my hair, like nothing. And I was just so nervous that the veil was gonna like keep sliding down my head. And so I was kind of walking with my head down, I was crying, so like I didn't really care about that, but because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. So I was really scared that the veil was going to just like keep sliding down my head. And so I was walking with my head down, and I like looking back, like I'm like, damn, like that's kind of, I'm not annoying or sad or whatever. I'm just like, I wish I would have had my head up, because in all of my like videos, I'm like walking like this. And so that was a regret of mine. Oh yeah, people definitely wanted to know the songs, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like we like killed it.
Yeah.
We had really good song choices. People came up to me after, they were like, oh my God, all of your song choices were amazing. And I was like, thank you. All right, we're almost done, guys. So someone said, tips on staying present during your wedding day. I answered this on my Instagram, but I like stand by this statement. Like so many people told me this day goes by so fast, your day goes by so fast, like you need to stay present, like you need to like enjoy every single second. And so multiple times, like probably 20 times throughout the day, I was like, okay, I'm present, I'm enjoying everything, I'm taking everything in, I am like, you know, cataloging things in my brain. I was like, I'm like smelling like what this flowers smell like, and I was being so present. And then literally the next day, I was like, wait, that literally just felt like an out-of-body experience. There was no other way to explain it, but it felt like I just had this wedding, and it was an out-of-body experience. Like I was at the wedding, but like also like looking down at the wedding.
It does go by very, very fast, and it is kind of an out-of-body experience because you've done this thing and you're in the moment and you want to enjoy it, and we did, but it's kind of crazy. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it is, and like you can't go back and change anything too. And I think that that's also what.
Yeah, Blake loves to change
stuff. Love changing things. Like I love to change my mind, and I love to redo things. And it's like, and I think that is a big part of like maybe like the post-wedding blues as well, because you're like, oh, okay, I just spent all this money. Like I wish that this was different, this was different, this was different. But like you literally, unless you have another wedding, which John and I like already talked about, like we would not do another wedding. Like that, it was a one-time thing, and like we would not do that again, just because it was so much time and money. Even though it was amazing, we would not do it again. But it's just like you don't get the opportunity to do it again. You don't get the opportunity to have a do-over. And so I think that it really like fucks with your mind. I know it fucked with mine. My mind, who can't make a decision, who changes things all the time, like it fucked with my mind.
Yeah, and it's not like you're buying something that you can like
return,
the house, like you can live in it and enjoy it, and like, and
then you can sell it and you can move somewhere else, and like
it's just such a crazy experience. There's nothing quite like that.
You know, I really am glad that we waited because we've been engaged for 4.5 years, and I'm really glad that we waited, because had we gotten married like 6 months, a year and a half after we got engaged, like we didn't have the money that we do now. Like we're older. I know a lot of people either think I'm fucking like 65 on TikTok, or like the people on Instagram think I'm like, I don't know, 25, 26, but John's 35, I'm 32. And so like we're not like these like kids who are 25 and 26 and 27 anymore. So we have a little bit more money to like play around with. And had we done the wedding when we got engaged 4.5 years ago, like we wouldn't have been able to do it like this at all. Someone said, F it, total cost all in. Sorry if this is rude. So basically we had a budget of about $125 when we originally started, and I'm just gonna say we probably went over by like 25 to 30%. All right guys, that is the end of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that we answered all of your questions. A ton of stuff is gonna be in the description box if you guys are interested in any like vendors and anything. We're gonna put that in the description. If you haven't seen the wedding vlog, we'll also link that down below, and we love you guys so much. Bye!